Hello, Astro Amigos. Welcome back to Astrology with Ninad. We have finally crossed 100,000 subscribers on this channel. It is a major milestone that has been achieved, and I want to thank each and every one of you for the kind and warm support that you have always shown me. I hope to continue to achieving such significant milestones in the years to come, and I'm confident with your support, it is definitely possible. I also want to wish you a very happy Gudi Padwa. Hope the remainder of this year brings a lot of prosperity, happiness, and joy in each and every one of your lives. In this video, I am going to discuss the monthly detailed horoscope prediction for April 2025, a very important month, if not the most important, because this month can set the tone for the remainder of the year. There is literally a six-planet conjunction happening right now in the sign of Pisces, a nine-planet activation of the sign of Virgo, a solar eclipse playing out. So, a lot of important things that need to be discussed. I'm going to cover several major life areas ranging from career, business, health, travel, marriage, education, and much more for all the 12 signs of the zodiac, starting from Aries all the way up to Pisces. My predictions are mainly based on your ascendant, which is the rising sign, or the moon sign, which is known as the Chandra Rashi. Ascendant sign predictions have an impact on actual physical events in life, while moon sign predictions have an impact on the mind and emotions of a human being. I will recommend to watch predictions from both the rising and moon sign to get a more specific and clearer picture of what can unfold. So, without any further delay, I'm going to get started with the prediction part for all the 12 signs. I have posted the timestamps in the description box below for your convenience, so you can click on the ascendant or moon sign and watch accordingly. Let's get started. For my Aries Mesh Rasi friends, before I get to the prediction part, let me take a few minutes to tell you the exact planetary alignment and position this month. Starting with Jupiter, it will be transiting in your second house in the sign of Taurus all month long. Mars, the ascendant lord, will be transiting in the fourth house in the debilitation sign of Cancer. Then you see that there will be a lot of planets in your 12th house in the sign of Pisces. Saturn, Rahu, the north node of the moon, Venus, Mercury will all be together in the 12th house. And directly opposite in the 6th house will be Ketu, the south node of the moon. And then I forgot to mention, Sun will also be in the 12th house along with all these other planets for the first 2 weeks. But in the last 2 weeks, it will transit in your first house itself and will become exalted in the sign of Aries. So these are the placements of all the planets except Moon, which is the fastest moving planet. So it will keep moving throughout the 12 houses at a very fast pace. Now let's talk about the major life areas, starting with career. In terms of job and profession this month, you will have to be a bit cautious because your career lord has just started transiting in the 12th house and it will be in conjunction with so many planets. So definitely avoid taking any impulsive, sudden, hasty decisions, whether it's to do with a job change, whether it is to do with applying for promotion, job transfer, salary increment, whatever it might be, you need to take it a bit easy because your ascendant lord, Mars, will be in the fourth from where its aspect will be directly falling on the 10th house of career. It will be a directionally strong aspect as well as an exalted aspect. So, Mars is a very fiery planet. It is a planet which can, give you a lot of energy. But if the energy is not directed in the right way, if you become very restless and take, any decisions in haste, then there can be problematic consequences. But if you play your cards right, if you play it safe, you stay focused on your duties, tasks, and projects, then you are going to do just fine. Because you also have the protection of Dev Guru Brihaspati. Jupiter's ninth aspect is on the 10th house as well. So that is a major saving grace for you. So just be a bit careful in your career area this month and try not to get involved in any office politics, gossiping, any type of confrontation, disputes. Avoid all those things. If I talk about business, where here you have your business lord Venus transiting in its exaltation sign in the 12th house again, and it is in conjunction with so many planets. So if your natal chart is very strong, especially in terms of business area, and you are running a very positive Mahadasha Antardasha, then it can be a game changer for you. There can be some sudden uncovering of destiny in relation to your business activities, especially connected to foreign lands. So if you're running a business that has any sort of dealings with foreign people, with foreign lands abroad, then there can be some major transformations in a positive way. But if you're not running a very good Mahadasha, Antardasha, your business lord itself in the natal chart is weak, then that can be a time to be very cautious, right? So avoid taking any sort of major important business related decisions if you fall in the latter category. If I talk about finance, definitely a month of expenses. Well, again, it depends on your chart whether those expenses are going to be for something that you enjoy or desire, such as shopping, maybe international travel, vacation, your dream vacation, maybe visiting several places, going on a nice tour with your friends or family members. It can be going out on a romantic date, spending, good money to treat your partner or spouse as well, to some fancy dining, shopping, going for movies, recreation. Or it can be the other way as well, where it can be directed towards some medical expenses, hospitalization, some acute operation related cost, right? So, or it could also be legal expenses if you are pursuing any lawsuits, right? So, any type of fees for the lawyer or any type of settlement fees can be there. But Jupiter is in your second house of wealth. So it is not a major concern because Jupiter will try to help you accumulate and increase your savings because that is its nature. And finally, it does rule your Bhagyastan, your ninth house of destiny and luck factor. But definitely try to save as much money as possible this month and try to control your expenses and spending. If I talk about health, then again, you have so many planets in the 12th house aspecting the 6th house. Again, Mars from the 4th is aspecting the 6th house. So definitely take care of your health this month. Do not neglect or ignore any type of acute health issues. right? So it can be even a great time to get a general wellness checkup if you haven't done so for a long time. Definitely not a good month to, you know, try out some extreme outdoor adventure sports or activities. Keep it a bit low key. It will be good for you. If I talk about love life, then the second half of April is looking quite good for single people to potentially meeting new people and, opening the door of opportunities, because your fifth lord, sun, which is connected to romantic relationship, will become exalted in the first house. The first 2 weeks, definitely not a good time to start a new relationship, right? You need to be patient, as the last 2 weeks are going to be quite supportive. For those couples already in a relationship, if things are not going smooth, be patient and do not take a impulsive decision. Wait for sun to transit to Aries, and then you can take a better decision, which will be ideal for both you and your partner. If I talk about marriage, in terms of those people wanting to get married and settle down, this is not a good month for that. You will need to be more patient. Your seventh lord is going to be in the 12th house. Although it can be again a great time for potentially meeting people, maybe, long distance travel to meet someone. And it could be a person in a foreign land, or maybe even from a different culture, background, religion. But it is not the best month to get married. That is what I'm recommending. For those couples already married, there is going to be a lot of passion, love, romance, sensuality that you will experience in your married life this month. So it can be a great time to reignite the missing spark, right? The missing romance in your marriage. But there can also be some slight ups and downs, some arguments, some disputes and quarrels that you might face. So be mentally prepared for that. If I talk about travel in terms of short distance travel journeys, the time is not looking that great, at least in the first 2 weeks. So, if you can avoid too much short distance travel, instead, if you have the option of working like a remote job or even a hybrid job, it will be better for you. In terms of long distance travel journey vacation, the time is looking excellent and you can certainly embark on the same. In terms of education, for those students pursuing primary education like high school bachelors, you're going to have ample energy. And if you focus it in the right way, you can truly get a lot done, finish all your homework in a timely manner, and ace your exams, because you will have a lot of energy to get things done. But you need to utilize it in the right way. In terms of higher education, for those students pursuing master's PhD program, the time is looking quite good throughout the month for the same. And if you're pursuing admission in a foreign land, then there are now strong chances that you might very well get that admission that you are seeking. So I believe I covered all the major life areas for my Aries Mesh Rashi friends. I hope you have a fantastic month of April 2025. For my Taurus Vrishabha Rashi friends, before I get to the prediction part, let me take a few minutes to tell you the exact planetary placement and alignment this month. Starting with Jupiter, Devguru Brihaspati will be transiting in your ascendant itself in the sign of Taurus all month long. Then we see that Mars, the commander in chief of all the planets, will be transiting in your third house in the sign of Cancer, which is its debilitation sign. Then we see that Your ascendant lord Venus will be transiting in the 11th house in its exaltation sign Pisces, along with Sun, Mercury, Saturn, and Rahu, which is the north node of the moon. So there is going to be an intense conjunction between all these planets in the 11th house. But in the last 2 weeks of April, Sun, the king of planets, will leave your 11th house and transit to the 12th house in the sign of Aries, where it will become exalted. Directly opposite the 11th house, where all this conjunction is taking place, is the 5th house, where the south node of the moon, Ketu, will be placed. Finally, Moon, the fastest moving planet, will keep changing signs rapidly throughout the month. Now, let's start with the predictions. Let's discuss career area first. If you look at profession, then it is going to be quite a powerful and positive month for you. You literally are going to have like 5 planets together in the 11th house, which includes your career lord Saturn. And they are all going to be placed in the sign of Jupiter. So Jupiter, being the dispositor, will be Digbali, directionally strong in your ascendant itself all month long. And it will be aspecting the Bhagyastan, the 9th house of destiny and luck factor. So tremendous growth and career progress is seen this month for you. So if you're desiring to try something new, maybe a potential job change, especially to like a foreign land abroad, then it can be a great time to pursue that, especially in the last 2 weeks of this month, because your fourth lord will become exalted in the 12th house. And all these planets are in your 11th house of wish fulfillment, of desires, of dreams, and the ability to manifest those. So if you have any career aspirations for a long time, but you always hesitated to pursue that, well, now is a golden opportunity and a chance for you to really become self assertive and pursue your long term dreams and desires. Of course, make sure your natal birth chart, the Mahadasha, Antardasha are also supporting these factors. But for those people who don't have a job, I highly recommend keep applying and give lots of interviews, because there is a very strong chance you can land a new job this month with a pretty good benefits and salary package. If I talk about business, then lo and behold, your business area is looking to be much, much better moving forward. Saturn's malefic impact on your business house will not be there anymore, which is a major relief. Your business lord Mars will be also quite well placed all month long in the third house of Parakram, in the third house, which is a Upachaya Bhava. So its results will keep getting better and better. You just need to work hard. You need to put in your time, effort, and energy, and you will see amazing results, because Jupiter's direct aspect is also on your business house, on your 5th house of decision making, intelligence, on your house of business partnerships, on your 9th house of Bhagya. So your destiny will also be quite strong and will support you to achieve significant growth and success in business related activities. If I talk about finance, well, you literally have like 5 planets, and for some time, even Moon in the 11th house. So when you have the Labastan activated so powerfully, there is definitely going to be money flow on the cards, increased income. Wealth area is looking quite strong, but make sure that you save that inflow of money, because your second lord will be in debilitation, which is Mercury, but still it will be in the 11th house. So you will have good support, but make sure to control your spending and avoid excess expenses, basically. right? Unless they are absolutely necessary. But try to invest wisely, spread out your investments, diversify your portfolio, and see the magic happen. A very good month for finances. If I talk about health, overall health area is also looking quite good, quite positive. Overall, no major issues are seen this month. So, just work on fitness, on, having a good, healthy lifestyle, and you will continue to have phenomenal health. If I talk about love life, for single people wanting to find someone, the time is looking quite good for that. Although, do not rush into anything because this month Ketu will still be in your fifth house. So be a little patient. The time is now only going to improve for that, and you will have a lot more opportunities open up as the year moves forward. For those couples already in a relationship, overall, the time is looking great for bonding, for increased love, romance in your relationship, and spend quality time with your partner. Go out for shopping, go out for fine dining, have a nice picnic, or maybe even long distance travel, maybe like a nice vacation, can do wonders for your relationship. If we talk about marriage, for single people wanting to get married, this can actually be quite a good month for that. So, if you're looking, I'm sure you can start to get more proposals and alliances that are falling within the criteria that you're seeking. So, quite a good news for single people, and marriage can definitely be on the cards for many people this month as well. For those couples already married, it is going to be an excellent month for your married life. The overall bonding, trust, care, passion, love in your married life is only going to strengthen, it is going to deepen. So use this beautiful time to your advantage in making your relationship blossom even more. So, a great thumbs up for married life. If I talk about travel in terms of short distance travel journey, the time is looking to be quite good. Just do not speed and drive your vehicle. And I will say the same for long distance travel journey and vacation. If you are driving your car on a road trip, then you need to drive with caution. But again, overall, the time is looking quite auspicious for that. So you can certainly undertake such journeys. Finally, education. In terms of primary students who are pursuing bachelor's high school, the time is going to be quite good in the first 2 weeks, but in the last 2 weeks, there can be some distractions, temptations on the cards. But if you do not succumb to those temptations and distractions, you can perform very well in your academics. In terms of higher education, for those students pursuing master's PhD program, the time is looking quite good throughout the month. If you put in the hard work, energy, and self effort, parakram, you are going to do fabulous in your higher educational aspirations. I believe I covered all the major life areas for my Taurus Vrishabha Rashi friends. It is going to be quite a positive and good month for you, so use it wisely. Thanks. For my Gemini Mithun Rashi friends, before I get to the prediction part, let me take a few minutes to tell you the exact planetary placement this month. Starting with Jupiter, it will be in your 12th house in the sign of Taurus. Mars will be in your second house in the sign of Cancer, which is its debilitation sign. Then we have the intense conjunction between your ascendant lord Mercury, which will be in the 10th house in debilitation sign of Pisces. Then you will also have Venus, which will be exalted, Saturn, which has just entered Pisces, and Rahu, the north node of the moon. Sun, the king of planets, will also be in the conjunction for the first 2 weeks, but in the last 2 weeks, it will transit to the 11th house in the exaltation sign of Aries. Ketu, the south node of the moon, will be directly opposite the 10th house, which is in the 4th house in the sign of Virgo. Finally, Moon, Chandrama, the fastest moving planet, will keep changing signs pretty fast throughout the month. So now let's discuss the life areas, starting with career. So quite an intense month for you, my friends, because this major conjunction is taking place in your career house itself, in your 10th house of profession. So you need to play your cards right. Because if you do, then you can see tremendous growth and success, especially in the last 2 weeks of this month, when your third lord will become exalted in the 11th house. Because Mercury, Venus, Rahu, and Saturn are good friends, they are compatible with each other. So if you need to take any important decisions, then do it in the last 2 weeks. If you don't have a job, I highly recommend keep applying and give lots of interviews, because there is a very good chance you can land a new job with a very good salary and benefits package after April 14. So this month is very powerful for your career goals and aspirations. Just avoid taking any sudden, impulsive, hasty decisions. Take carefully calculated, practical decisions, and you will see magnificent results. It is going to be quite a transformative period for your career. Moving forward, you will start to gain a much better sense of clarity and direction in the time to come. So, if you were feeling lost, do not worry. Things are going to change for the better, because Saturn, especially being a planet of long term permanence and stability, and being your trine lord, which is the ruler of the Bhagyastan, is going to ensure you have a very stable career in the time to come. If I talk about business, then this month you need to be a bit safe, because your business lord Jupiter is still in the 12th house, which is 6 places away from the house it rules. So you need to be a bit careful. But if you're running a business and it has anything to do with foreign lands, import, export, any sort of connections with foreigners, different cultures, backgrounds, then it can do quite well. Be, a, be very cautious of the expenses though, because they can start to really pile up, right? They can start to really get to a point where you feel the expenses are overtaking the actual revenue and profits. So basically, know what you're getting into as far as business investments go. If I talk about health, then the health area is going to be quite good moving forward, because Mars has now moved out of your ascendant, which is going to bring great relief for you. Saturn's impact is not going to be there anymore on your 6th house. You have Jupiter's blessings on your 6th and 8th houses, which indicate much better improvement in terms of health area this month. So you are going to be fighting fit. I forgot to talk about finance. In terms of the financial area, it is going to be quite a month of improvement, right? Because you might have felt a major crunch in the last 2 to 3 years because of Saturn's pressure on the 11th house. But now that will be completely released. And Sun's exaltation in the 11th house, the Lord of the 11th in the second, is indicating good wealth accumulation, increased savings, and a much better feeling in terms of finances. So, there are going to be some expenses involved as well. And if you're not careful with your investments, especially with stock market, cryptocurrency, penny stocks, gambling, betting, then you can lose a lot of money as well. So be very, very wise with your financial investments. If I talk about love life, then the time is looking very powerful. There are strong chances of single people connecting with someone, especially through social media, through the internet, through dating platforms, because your third lord will become exalted in the 11th house, from where it will aspect the fifth, and your fifth lord is already exalted in the 10th. There are also chances of meeting someone through workplace, through attending a seminar, conference, company sponsored event. And for those couples already in a relationship, it is going to be quite an intense time in a good way. You will spend a lot of good quality time with your partner. There can be some surprises on the cards. Again, overall, it is going to be quite positive. But because you might be very busy with your work, it can be very demanding this month. It can take away some time that you would actually like to spend with your significant other. So make a note of that and try to, balance, have a good work life balance, basically. If I talk about marriage, this is not the time to get married this month. From next month onwards, things are going to improve manyfold. This month, just hold your horses, be patient. The amazing time for getting married is coming, especially from next month onwards. But for this month, do not get married if possible. For those couples already married, it is going to be a month where you might feel a lot of restlessness in the marriage, a lot of distractions, a lot of burden, a lot of demand from other areas of your life, like business, career, education. But try to focus on your married life as well, and try to work out on resolving any pending issues, because from May onwards, things are going to get really a whole lot better. So take the time this month to work out the kinks, work out remove those knots in your married life, because moving forward, the married life is going to be filled with lot of happiness, peace, love, romance, and passion. If I talk about travel in terms of short distance travel journey, the time is looking excellent throughout the month, so you can certainly embark on the same. In terms of long distance travel journey vacation, the time is also looking quite solid throughout the month and no issues are seen. Finally, education. In terms of primary education, for those students pursuing bachelor's high school, the time can be filled with a bit of distraction. You might feel detached from your studies. You might not feel any interest to study, but try to just push aside those feelings. Try to study hard, because the effort you put in now, you're going to see magnificent results from next month onwards, and as you keep moving down the year. In terms of higher education, for those students pursuing master's PhD program, the time is getting quite good, quite positive and strong for you to achieve your academic aspirations. So certainly, you know, you can certainly go after what you desire, even with, pursuing a higher education degree in a foreign land. So if you desire that, the planetary alignment can be quite supportive in the coming time for the same. I believe I covered all the areas of life for my Gemini friends. I hope you found this insightful and I wish you all the best. For my Cancer Karka Rashi friends, before I get to the prediction part, let me take a few minutes to tell you the planetary placement this month. Starting with Mars, it will be in your ascendant this entire month in the sign of Cancer itself. Jupiter will be in your 11th house in the sign of Taurus. Then we see that there is that intense conjunction between Rahu, the north node of the moon, Saturn, Venus, Mercury, and Sun in your ninth house in the sign of Pisces. But in the last 2 weeks, Sun will leave the ninth house and will transit to the 10th house in the exaltation sign of Aries. Directly opposite the ninth house is the third house where the south node of the moon, Ketu, will be placed. Finally, Moon, the fastest moving planet, will keep changing signs pretty fast throughout the month. Now, let's talk about the major areas of life, starting with the career. A major relief is seen finally for your career area because your career lord will now come out of the 12th house of loss, expenses, trouble with the authorities, with the higher ups, and it will transit to your ascendant in your sign. And Mars is a Yoga Karaka planet for Cancer rising or Cancer moon sign because it rules a trine and a center house. So now it will be quite well placed to give you good results. And on top of that, you also have your wealth lord, Sun, which will start transiting in the 10th house in exaltation in the last 2 weeks. So basically, it is a month of good progression. I'm seeing a lot of opportunities start to open up for you now. I'm seeing your overall confidence become very positive, your self assertiveness becomes stronger. You're going to go after your goals and you are going to now start to achieve them in a very successful manner. So, if you were facing any issues with your colleagues, with the higher ups, those issues can get resolved. Some good changes can be seen at the workplace. There are chances of a possible bonus promotion or a salary increment that can also happen for some people in the last 2 weeks of the month. Jupiter also being placed in the 11th house, you know, is a blessing in disguise. So, a very strong month for the career area is seen as compared to, the previous 2 to 3 years. If I talk about business, a major positive change again is seen in the business area, where finally your business lord will come out of the eighth and start transiting in the ninth house, which is Saturn. So, but since there is an intense conjunction for basically at least the first 2 weeks of this month, be a bit careful, take it easy in terms of business related decisions. But overall, the time is now only going to slowly improve and become more and more positive in the coming months and days. If I talk about finance, again, a very good relief because in the last 2 to 3 years, Saturn's direct malefic enemy aspect was on your wealth house, which will not be there anymore due to it transiting, due to it changing houses. So, naturally, wealth accumulation, savings, increased income, wealth abundance, prosperity is all seen for you in the coming years and coming months. So, make good use of it. Try to save your money, make good, wise investments because you can certainly achieve very strong financial stability in the time to come. If I talk about health, overall health area is looking to be good for the most part. The only area where you might feel some stress could be like your shoulders, neck, maybe your hands. So try not to engage in extreme outdoor adventure sports or activities, especially like rock climbing, bungee jumping, skydiving, lifting very heavy weights without proper technique. So be a bit cautious of these things this month. If I talk about love life, then overall the time is now going to improve because your fifth lord is now going to be placed well. Jupiter's drishti is on the fifth. Saturn's malefic impact will no longer be there on the fifth bhava. So, a great time is indicated for single people wanting to get into a new relationship. For those couples already in a relationship, if you are facing a lot of issues, a lot of quarrels, unhappiness, things will start to change for the better. You will start to feel more peaceful internally. So, naturally, that will be conveyed to your partner with whom you are bonding, will start to increase, will get stronger. And so a better time is seen in terms for those people already in a relationship. If I talk about marriage, for single people wanting to get married, the time is now finally improving. Your marriage lord will start transiting in the Bhagyastan. But still, this month, be a bit cautious. Do not jump into anything. Take your time because now the better time is going to only come in the coming months. So, no need to rush into anything. Take your time. If I talk about those couples already married, things will also start to now get better in your married life. It can be a great time for you to embark on some long distance vacation journeys with your spouse. It can help to strengthen your relationship by, putting in more quality time, effort, and energy towards your married life. If I talk about travel in terms of short distance travel journey, the time is looking to be good, but just make sure to not speed and drive your vehicle. And I will say the same for long distance travel journey, especially if you are driving a car going on a long road trip, you need to drive with caution. Finally, education in terms of short distance or in terms of primary education for those students pursuing bachelor's high school, the time is looking to be quite good, especially in the last 2 weeks of this month. So you can make good academic progress. And for those students pursuing higher education like master's, PhD program, there will be a lot on your mind this month. So do some meditation, yoga, pranayam to become very grounded and focused. Because when you're calm, when you're grounded, you're going to get a lot of things done and you are going to make, impress your professors with with the quality of your effort and the work you will do. For those students seeking admission abroad, there is a very decent chance you might now be able to get that admission to the desired college that you were seeking. I believe I covered all the life areas for my Cancer Karka Rashi friends. Things are about to start changing for the better for you. It's going to be slowly a 360-degree turn from what you have been experiencing these last 2 to 3 years. So a lot of good times are awaiting, and I thank you for watching this video. For my Leo Simha Rashi friends, before I get to the prediction part, let me take a few minutes to tell you the planetary placement this month. Starting with Sun, your ascendant lord, the king of planets, will be in the 8th house in the sign of Pisces, along with many other planets, including Mercury, which will be in debilitation, Venus, which will be in exaltation, Rahu, the north node of the moon, and even Saturn. But Sun will leave the 8th house and the sign of Pisces and will transit to the 9th house in the sign of Aries, which is its exaltation sign in the last 2 weeks, directly opposite the 8th house. is the second house where Ketu, the south node of the moon, will be placed. Jupiter will be placed in your 10th house in the sign of Taurus, Mars in your 12th house in the debilitation sign of Cancer, and finally, Moon, the fastest moving planet, will keep changing signs rapidly throughout the month. Now, let's discuss the major life areas, starting with the career. In terms of job and profession area, you will need to be very cautious this month, especially in the first 2 weeks, where there is an intense conjunction in your 8th house, and especially your career lord, Venus, is also transiting in the 8th. You do have the protection and blessings of Jupiter, which is your trine lord, but still do not throw caution to the wind. Avoid making any significant, important career related decisions. Put that on hold this month if possible. Wait for a better and more favorable month to do that. So just try to keep a low key profile, focus on your duties, tasks, and projects, and avoid getting entangled into any sort of office politics, any sort of quarrels or disputes with the higher ups or even your colleagues. If I talk about business, this is the time to be a bit careful here as well, because your business lord will start now transiting in the 8th house, and the drishti of Mangal is also on your business house. So play your cards right. Try to stick with the status quo. Do not make any major financial business decisions or investments this month. Try not to get into a new business partnership this month as well. Just keep doing what you're doing so far and try to keep just business as usual. If I talk about finance, then there are chances of sudden unearned wealth that can come your way. It could be through some past settlement, through inheritance, through your insurance, through in-laws, through your spouse, through your past investments, even possibly through the lottery, because your 8th house will be intensely activated, and your money lord, which is Mercury, will be in the 8th house. So it can give you sudden gain of wealth, but if you're not careful, there can be sudden major loss of financial wealth as well, because 8th house can go either way depending on your natal chart, the certain placements in your birth chart, as well as the Mahadasha, Antardasha, and even to an extent the Pratyantar Dasha you are running. If I talk about health, then the first 2 weeks is where you will need to take very good care of your health. Do not ignore any type of health issues. Maybe even getting a wellness checkup can be a good thing around this time of the year. In the last 2 weeks, there can be significant improvement in health related area when your ascendant lord transits in the 9th house. If I talk about love life, for single people wanting to get into a relationship, the time is looking fairly good, fairly positive. So good doors of opportunity can open up if you are being proactive and if you are truly desiring a relationship. For those couples already in a relationship, there can be some slight ups and downs that you might feel, but it can be a good idea to try to work those issues out and get those resolved this month, because from next month onwards, the time is going to be exceptional when Jupiter transits in the 11th and starts aspecting the 5th. So just be patient and try to work out those issues. If I talk about marriage, for those people wanting to get married, wanting to settle down, this is not the good month to do that. You will need to wait for Jupiter to transit to the 11th. So be patient and avoid getting married this month if possible. For those couples already married, There can be some ups and downs, some friction, some quarrels, disputes that might, go on in your relationship, in your married life. But do not worry, because from next month onwards, things will start to change for the better. It will become more positive. If I talk about travel in terms of short distance travel journey, the time is looking to be okay. As long as you do not speed and drive your vehicle, you will be fine. Drive with caution. Same goes for long distance travel journey and vacation as well. Especially in the last 2 weeks, it can be very good for any foreign related travel or any major long distance journeys. Finally, education. In terms of primary education, for those students pursuing bachelor's high school, the time is not looking that great this month, and there can be a lot of temptation, distraction on the cards. So try to get your focus on target. In terms of higher education, for those students pursuing master's PhD program, the time can be good if you really, put your energy effort into your studies. You can perform very well, and especially if you are in a foreign land, you can make significant academic progress as well. I believe I covered all the major life areas for my Leo Simha Rashi friends, and I wish you all the best. For my Virgo Kanya Rashi friends, before I get to the prediction part, let me take a few minutes to tell you the planetary placement this month. Starting with your ascendant lord Mercury, it will be in debilitation in the seventh house in the sign of Pisces, along with Venus, which will be in exaltation, Rahu, the north node of the moon, Saturn, and even Sun. But Sun will leave the seventh house and transit to the eighth house in its exaltation sign of Aries in the last couple of weeks. Jupiter will be in your ninth house in the sign of Taurus all month long. Mars will be in your 11th house in the sign of Cancer, its debilitation sign all month long. Ketu, the south node of the moon, will be directly opposite to the seventh house, which is in your ascendant itself in the sign of Virgo. Finally, Moon, the fastest moving planet, will keep changing signs pretty fast throughout the month. Now, let's discuss the major life areas, starting with the career. In terms of job and profession area, you will need to maintain some caution this month. Your career lord is going to be in debilitation in the seventh house, and also it will be directionally weak. It will also be in conjunction with so many planets. So it can cause an array of confusion. It can cause dilemma in regards to where your career is headed. You might not get clarity as such. So avoid taking any sudden, hasty, impulsive decisions. Wait for a better month to do that. This month, try to maintain status quo, keep business as usual, and keep doing what you're doing. Keep a low key. Do not get into arguments, quarrels, disputes, and just keep working hard, and you will do just fine, because you do have the support of Jupiter in the Bhagyastan. If I talk about business, then of course in your business house is where all this conjunction is happening, and basically it is intensely activated. So unless you are running a really good Mahadasha, Antardasha, and the position of certain planets in your natal chart is exceptional, then you can see some magnificent results unfold here. But for the most people, I will say it is better to again keep business as usual, not get into new business partnerships, not try out to do something major like business expansion, new important business deals. Put that on hold for a bit and wait for a more favorable month. If I talk about finance, then overall financial area is going to be it is going to be mediocre. You can say there will be inflow of money, but then there can be some outflow and expenditure as well. So overall, if you mix and match the result, your eighth lord in debilitation in the 11th house, you have your lord of the second in the seventh in exaltation. So again, it's a mixed bag of results that you will experience this month in terms of finances. In terms of health area, it is going to be a pretty good month for you. I do not see anything major as such. Just do not ignore any kind of health issues connected to your head portion. And if anything was to bother you, make sure to get that checked up in a timely manner. If I talk about love life, then this month is not looking that great for getting into a new relationship. And for those couples already in a relationship, you can experience some aggression, some quarrels, disputes, arguments. So try to tone down that fiery element, because Mars exalted aspect on your fifth house, being the eighth lord, and the intense conjunction of your fifth lord with all these other planets can indicate some issues that might need to be resolved. If I talk about marriage for single people wanting to get married, this is not the month for that. You have a lot of planets in the seventh, especially you need to wait till Rahu leaves the seventh house. Then you will start to get more clarity. You will become more grounded in taking important life decisions. In terms of those couples already married, you know, be faithful, be loyal, be caring, be upfront and direct with your intentions with your spouse. Do not do things behind your spouse's back, as that can create major problematic consequences in the future. So be transparent and be honest, and that will go a long way towards protecting your marital bliss, harmony, and peace. If I talk about travel, in terms of short distance travel journey, the time is looking quite good throughout the month, so you can certainly embark on that. In terms of long distance travel journey vacation, the time is also looking quite favorable for the same. In terms of education, for those students pursuing bachelor's high school, the time is going to be quite good. With your hard work effort, you will be successful. And the same can be said for those students pursuing higher education like master's PhD program. But there can be some temptations, distractions on the cards. So put those aside, put your full focus, energy, time, and effort towards your goals, towards your higher education aspiration, and lo and behold, you will do quite well. So I believe I covered all the major life areas for my Virgo Kanya Rashi friends, and I thank you for watching. For my Libra Tula Rashi friends, before I get to the prediction part, let me take a few minutes to tell you the planetary placement this month. Starting with your ascendant lord Venus, which will be exalted in the sixth house in the sign of Pisces, but it will not be alone. It will be with many other planets: Saturn, Rahu, the north node of the moon, Mercury, which will be in debilitation, as well as Sun. But Sun will leave the sixth house and transit to the seventh house in its exaltation sign of Aries in the last 2 weeks. We see Jupiter will be placed in your eighth house in the sign of Taurus all month long. Mars will be placed in its debilitation sign of Cancer in your 10th house. And then Ketu, the south node of the moon, will be placed in your 12th house in the sign of Virgo. Finally, Moon, which is the fastest moving planet, will keep changing signs fairly fast throughout the month. Now, let's discuss the major life areas, starting with the career. In terms of job and profession, it is going to be a power packed month. It can be a month of major transformation, changes in a positive way, as well as challenges for some people initially. Because of such intense activation of your sixth house, there could be some disruption to your everyday work life routine. There can be some modifications, some changes brought upon you by natural energies, which you will need to adapt to. At the onset, it might feel a bit tough or challenging, but in the months to come, as the year moves forward, it will be for the better. So, accept the changes that will come in your life, because it is going to be quite an intense month for your career. And why I said power pack is because Mars, although in the debilitation sign, will be Digbali. It will be very powerful in the 10th house. And so it will give you a lot of courage, confidence. You will become self assertive, and you will now start to have clarity and direction on what you really want to achieve in the coming time. If I talk about business, then the last 2 weeks of April can be quite good for your business related activities. You literally have your 11th lord becoming exalted in the business house, and the business lord itself being Digbali in the 10th. So, if you need to implement any important major business related decisions, try doing that in the last 2 weeks of April. In the first 2 weeks, try to be a bit more cautious. If I talk about finance, then overall major improvement in financial area is seen. Wealth accumulation will start to increase, savings will start to grow. You will start to feel a major relief in terms of financial abundance. Money will definitely be coming your way now. Any blockages that were created in terms of finances for the last 2 to 3 years will be released. So, lo and behold, a great time for you to build up your financial wealth and to achieve strong financial stability in the time to come. If I talk about health, then this month you need to be a bit careful. Your health area will need some attention, because the 6th and 12th houses are getting powerfully activated. Your ascendant is also getting activated. So, do not ignore any type of acute or chronic health issues, and make sure to get any type of problems checked up in a timely manner. If I talk about love life, for single people wanting to get into a relationship, it is not an ideal month for the same. You need to be a bit more patient and wait for a more suitable month to start dating. If I talk about those couples already in a relationship, there can be some possible conflicts, some issues, and problems that you will need to deal with. But it is best to get those resolved this month itself and not keep those lingering for the future. If I talk about marriage, for single people wanting to settle down, wanting to get married, then the last 2 weeks of this month are looking to be quite fruitful. And if your Mahadasha, Antardasha, etc., all support this, then you can certainly proceed. If I talk about those couples already in a marriage, then there is going to be a major relief in your marital life. You will start to feel a lot of harmony, peace, love, romance, your bonding between you and your spouse will increase manyfold, and any issues will start to get resolved naturally. So, the marital bliss harmony is looking phenomenal moving forward. If I talk about travel in terms of short distance travel journey, the time is not looking that great. So, if you can avoid too much short distance travel, it will be better for you. And I will say the same for long distance travel journey and vacation. If you can put that on hold this month, it will be ideal. If we compare apples to apples, then short distance traveling will be more suitable than long distance travel. In terms of education, for those students pursuing primary education like bachelor's, high school, The month can be a bit of a struggle, although for those students pursuing higher education like master's PhD program, the month will be even more tedious, even more challenging. So mentally prepare yourself that you will face some obstacles, challenges in your academics and plan accordingly. I believe I covered all the major life areas for my Libra friends, and I wish you all the best. For my Scorpio Vrishika Rashi friends, before I get to the prediction part, let me take a few minutes to tell you the planetary alignment this month. Starting with your Lagnesh, Mangal, Mars, the commander in chief, will be placed in the debilitation sign of Cancer in your ninth house. Jupiter will be transiting in your seventh house in the sign of Taurus. Then there is going to be a conjunction between Rahu, the north node of the moon, Saturn, Venus, Mercury, and Sun in your fifth house in the sign of Pisces. But in the last 2 weeks, Sun will leave the fifth and transit to the sixth house in the exaltation sign of Aries. Ketu, the south node of the moon, will be placed in your 11th house in the sign of Virgo. Finally, Moon, the fastest moving planet, will keep changing signs pretty fast throughout the month. So now let's talk about the areas of life, starting with the career. In terms of job and profession, there is going to be a major relief in your life because the last 2 to 3 years, Saturn had impacted your career house with a very negative, malefic drishti. But now that will not be there anymore. So naturally, major progression, growth, and career success is seen for you moving forward. This month, the last 2 weeks of April are looking phenomenal for your career growth and success. So, if you need to take any important career related decisions, then try to do it after April 14, when your career lord Sun will start transiting in the exaltation sign of Aries in the sixth house. So there can be some good modification and changes to your everyday routine, to your everyday job. There can be some really nice changes that you can look forward to. If you don't have a job, I highly recommend use this month wisely to your advantage. Apply and give as many interviews as possible because there is a very good chance of landing a new job with a decent salary and benefits package. Now things will really start to accelerate, and any sort of career growth that was stunted for 2 3 years will now be released, and you will now be on your path of success and growth in the time to come. If I talk about business, then overall the business area can be quite good because your business lord Venus will be in exaltation. So you might take some really important decisions for your business related activities. And Jupiter's blessing is also in your business house. So it can yield some good results because Sun's transit in the sixth house can also help to drive competition out, defeat your enemies, rise on top, and show the marketplace your offerings, and really, you know, your brand will start to be recognized as you truly have now the potential to take it to the next level. But again, be a bit careful in the first 2 weeks with making any major financial business related decisions or even getting into business partnerships. If I talk about finance, then overall, the financial area is looking good throughout the month. The money flow will be there, as well as wealth accumulation and savings will also be quite decent. But do not throw caution to the wind and do not make high risk speculative investments like cryptocurrency, gambling, betting, penny stocks, or you could lose significant amount of money as well. So be very safe and prudent with your investments. If I talk about health, then there is going to be major improvement in health related matters, especially from April 2 onwards, where your ascendant lord itself will start transiting in a very much positive house, the Dharma Trikon, the highest of the trine house. So, a good time for healing to come out of any type of health issues. So, focus on your fitness, be active, as it is going to get good for you from the health perspective. Then, if we talk about love life, for single people wanting to get into a relationship, your fifth house will be very much intensely activated. But do not jump into anything this month if possible. Take your time, especially the first 2 weeks. Be very careful because there is just a lot of different energies in the fifth house, and especially till Rahu is there, you need to be cautious because it is a planet of dilemma, illusion, and mirage. For those couples already in a relationship, be faithful, be loyal to your partner so that any sort of unnecessary complications and issues do not arise. If I talk about marriage, then there is a strong chance that single people have the potential of possibly getting married this month, wanting to settle down, or even those people who have already been in a relationship for a long time, for many years, they might think of taking their relationship to the next level and getting married because there is a strong exchange of energy, Rashi Parivartan Yog, between your fifth and seventh lord. So the possibility is definitely there. Then we see that those couples already married, it is looking quite good from the love, romance, passion perspective. Sensuality will also be at its peak. And so you can certainly enjoy your married life this month. If I talk about travel in terms of short distance travel journeys, the time is looking to be fine, and I do not see any major issues. And the same goes for long distance travel journey vacation. The time is also looking quite good for the same, although do not speed and drive your vehicle. Finally, education. In terms of primary education for those students pursuing bachelor's high school, the time is going to be a bit filled with a bit of confusion. You might feel a bit detached, not feeling like you want to study, but try to put those, push that laziness aside and try to really focus on your studies, as it will be good for you in the months moving forward. If I talk about higher education for those students pursuing master's PhD program, the time is going to get quite good because you're going to have a lot of energy, ample energy to focus on your studies, on your academic aspirations, and really get things done. So use that to your advantage. I believe I covered all the major life areas for my Scorpio friends. It is overall going to be quite a good and positive month for you. So I wish you all the best. For my Sagittarius Dhanu Rashi friends, before I get to the prediction part, let me take a few minutes to tell you the planetary alignment this month. Starting with your ascendant lord, Jupiter, it will be transiting in your sixth house in the sign of Taurus. Mars will be in the debilitation sign of Cancer in the eighth house. Then there is an intense conjunction between Rahu, the north node of the moon, Saturn, Venus, Mercury, and Sun in your fourth house in the sign of Pisces. But in the last 2 weeks, Sun will leave your fourth house and transit to the fifth house in the sign of Aries, where it becomes exalted. Directly opposite to the fourth house is the 10th house, where the south node of the moon, Ketu, will be placed. Finally, Moon, the fastest moving planet, will keep changing its signs every 2 to 3 days. So it will keep moving very fast throughout the month. Now, let's talk about the areas of life, starting with the career. In terms of job and profession, this can be quite an important month for you. It can pave your path for the remainder of the year. You will start to slowly get clarity, especially after May or after April 14. In the last 2 weeks, there will be a lot of good clarity and a sense of direction in where your career is exactly headed for the time to come. So, overall, a good and progressive time is seen. You even have the support of your career lord Mercury itself with its direct aspect. Jupiter's fifth aspect on your career house will also be there. So you have that protection. Just do not make any sudden, impulsive, hasty decisions if possible. Since your fifth lord is in the eighth house, you need to take carefully calculated, practical decisions for your job, and that way you will do just fine. If I talk about business, then overall, the business area is looking quite good, but again, you need to be a bit careful because your business lord Mercury is in debilitation and it's not strengthening the seventh house by aspect. Although it is in debilitation, the conjunction with Venus, Saturn, and even Rahu is looking quite powerful. So there can be some good transformations in your business area as well if you play your cards right. And that will largely depend upon the Mahadasha, Antardasha you are running and the position of certain planets in your natal chart. If I talk about finance, then overall, the financial flow is looking quite good throughout the month, but there can be possible investments in maybe real estate, property, vehicles, any kind of home decoration, furniture, that sort of thing. But if you need to invest, then try to do it in the last 2 weeks of this month. But overall, the financial aspect is looking quite good. If I talk about love life, sorry, if I talk about health, then overall, the health area is also looking fine. I do not see any major concerns as such. If you are someone who is suffering from maybe like a heart disease or something like that, then you need to take a bit more care of yourself. Do not throw caution to the wind. But otherwise, for most people, it is looking fine. If I talk about love life, then in the first 2 weeks, it is definitely not a good time to pursue any sort of new relationships. But in the last 2 weeks, things will slowly start to improve, although still you need to be careful because the fifth lord will be in debilitation. So, if you can be a bit patient this month, it will be better for you. For those couples already in a relationship, there can be some arguments, quarrels, disputes, especially in the first 2 weeks. So be aware of that. If I talk about marriage, in terms of single people wanting to get married this month, it is going to be slightly tough as your marriage lord is in debilitation. So you will need to wait for a more favorable month down the road. For those couples already married, the time is going to be fine. There are no major afflictions to the marriage house. So, with good communication, transparency, honesty, and being upfront, you can have a very stable and smooth married life. If I talk about travel in terms of short distance travel journeys, the time is looking to be, you can say, okay, not too good, not bad either. Do not speed and drive your vehicle, drive with caution, and you will be fine. In terms of long distance travel, journey, vacation, the time is looking to be quite positive, especially in the last 2 weeks. So, if you need to undertake any important journeys, voyages, then do it in the last 2 weeks. Finally, education in terms of those students pursuing primary education like bachelor's, high school, then it is going to be quite an intense month. So try to really focus on your studies, on your goals, and that way you won't be distracted from achieving good results. Finally, in terms of higher education, for those students pursuing master's PhD program, the time is looking quite good as the month keeps progressing. you will do better and better in your academics. So I believe I covered all the life areas for my Sagittarius friends, and I thank you for watching. For my Capricorn Makar Rashi friends, before I get to the prediction part, let me take a few minutes to discuss the planetary position this month. Starting with your ascendant lord, your Lagnesh, Saturn, it will finally start transiting in the third house in the sign of Pisces. But it will not be alone. It will be in conjunction with Rahu, the north node of the moon, Venus, which will be in exaltation, Mercury, which will be in debilitation, and even Sun, the king of planets. Sun will transit from the third house to the fourth house in the last 2 weeks and will be in the exaltation sign of Aries. Jupiter will be in your fifth house in the sign of Taurus all month long, whereas Mars will be in your seventh house in the debilitation sign of Cancer all month long. Finally, Moon, the fastest moving planet, will keep changing signs throughout the month pretty fast. I forgot to mention Ketu, the south node of the moon, will be placed in your ninth house in the sign of Virgo. So these are the key placements. Now let's discuss the areas of life, starting with the career. In terms of job and profession, it is going to be an excellent month for you. A lot of good career growth and progress is seen. With your hard work, effort, and parakram, you will be able to achieve tremendous heights in career. Especially the last 2 weeks can provide a sudden change in your profession. It can suddenly change your direction. It can change your mindset. You might think of starting something new, and it can be good for the same. But again, do not rush into anything. Take your time, make properly calculated, stable decisions that will play out in your favor for the long term. If you don't have a job, I recommend apply and give lots of interviews, because all this intense conjunction is in your third house in the upachaya bhava, which is connected to self effort. So the more hard work and self effort you put into anything, whether it is getting a new job, whether it is applying for jobs in a different country, whether it is trying for a job transfer, trying for any new change, getting new projects, new responsibilities, assignment of new tasks, all this will be supported as this month keeps moving forward. If I talk about business, then overall, the time for business is also quite good here, because you have your fourth and 11th lord in the seventh, which means a lot of energy, a lot of enthusiasm will be there in conducting business activities, which can drive revenue and profits more than expected. But control the fire element there. Try not to get into any verbal arguments, disputes, quarrels with your business partner. If you have a business partner, try to maintain that cooperation, try to be in good standing so that your business is not disrupted by any of these issues. If I talk about finance, overall major relief will be felt in the terms of financial inflow of money, as that could have been blocked for the last 2 3 years. Now it will be released, so a lot of betterment will be felt in money flow, wealth accumulation, savings. With your parakram, with your hard work, with your focused effort towards your job, towards your business, towards your venture, towards maybe a part-time job, any type of gig that you are doing can start to yield your very good results from a financial perspective. If I talk about health, then overall the health area is looking to be good for the most part. I am not seeing any sort of major concerns. Keep working on your fitness, eat the right kind of food, and you will do fine. If I talk about love life, for single people wanting to get into a relationship, new doors of opportunity are likely to open up, especially through your siblings, through neighbors, through electronic media, through social media, through matrimonial sites, through dating apps, through maybe, just people in general, right? Your acquaintances. So be proactive and keep yourself open if you are looking for someone, and the planets are aligning in a favorable way. For those couples already in a relationship, the time is looking quite good. You need to maintain clear, transparent communication so that there are no unnecessary misunderstandings. If you maintain good communication, then overall your relationship is going to just blossom. If I talk about marriage, for single people wanting to settle down, wanting to get married, this is not the best month for that. You need to be a bit more patient and wait for a better time. For those couples already married, the passion, love, romance in your relationship, in your marriage is going to increase. The sensuality is going to be at its peak. Mars will bring that kind of aggression, the passion, maybe the spark that was missing will be reignited. But again, there could be some temper tantrums, there could be some quarrels, unnecessary bickering, arguments there as well. So be watchful of that. In terms of travel, for short distance travel journey, the time is looking quite good. And the same, I will say, for long distance travel journey and vacation, just do your proper planning and due diligence before embarking on the same, and drive your vehicle with caution. Finally, education. For those students pursuing bachelor's, high school, primary education, the time in the last 2 weeks is looking excellent. Whereas for those students pursuing higher education, such as master's, PhD program, the time is looking mediocre. You will need to put in the extra effort to get the desired results. To summarize, the start of a very good period for Capricorn people, Makar Rashi, because even the Sade Sati for the moon sign people is completely over now. You're free from it. So, your Lagnesh transiting in the third house itself is a big boon in disguise. So, overall, the planetary alignments and transits are going to play out in your favor in the coming time. So, use it to your advantage. All the best. For my Aquarius Kumbha Rashi friends, before I get to the prediction part, let me take a few minutes to discuss the planetary placement this month. Starting with your ascendant lord Saturn, it will be transiting in your second house in the sign of Pisces. But it will not be alone. It will be with Rahu, the north node of the moon, Mercury, which will be in debilitation, Venus, which will be in exaltation, and also Sun. But Sun will leave your second house and transit to the third house, where it will become exalted in the sign of Aries in the last 2 weeks. Jupiter will be in your fourth house in the sign of Taurus all month long, whereas Mars will be in your sixth house in the sign of Cancer, which is its debilitation sign all month long. Ketu, the south node of the moon, will be placed in the eighth house in the sign of Virgo. Finally, Moon, the fastest moving planet, will keep changing the houses and signs pretty fast throughout the month. Now, let's talk about the areas of life, starting with the career. A major relief for my Aquarius friends in terms of professional life. Because for the last 2 3 years, Saturn had directly impacted your career house in not such a positive way, because it was a malefic enemy aspect. Now it won't be there anymore. So the blockage has cleared. The roadblocks have been cleared off for your takeoff in a very positive and transformative way. You have endured a lot of challenges, but for now, the time is to succeed. The time is to reap the rewards for the hard work, effort, and consistency that you have been putting in your job, in your day to day activities, in your projects and tasks. So it is time to showcase your leadership skills, time to put yourself out there, time to go after your goals with full power, because the planetary alignment is looking exceptionally positive. So tremendous growth, career opportunities are going to be in the store for you. Those people who don't have jobs can start finding good jobs now. those people who are desiring relocation or job transfer, or maybe a promotion, bonus, salary increment that might be long overdue. All these things will start to happen now. So a very good time for career is indicated this month. If I talk about business, then again a major positive change, because Saturn's other malefic aspect was on your business house for the last 2 to 3 years. That will be lifted, which means it is time for your business to start flourishing, to start producing good results, to start generating more revenue than ever before. So it is time for you to keep putting in that effort. If you have a passion about any type of business, any type of project or venture, definitely go after it, try to pursue it with full heart, because the time is looking very good for your for the business success. Because especially in the last 2 weeks of this month, your business lord will transit in the third house, in exaltation, which is looking phenomenal from the business career, business growth and success point of view. If I talk about finance, then overall the financial area is looking to be very strong as well. You have literally 4 5 planets conjunct in the dhanastan. So try to accumulate the money which will come your way. Try to build your savings, grow your wealth, because it can go either way, right? You have malefic planets like Rahu, Saturn there, but if you play your cards wisely, you make good, careful, safe, stable investments, you will be able to generate and accumulate a lot of wealth in the time to come. If I talk about health, then overall the health area is looking phenomenal. No major issues are foreseen, as long as you eat a good, well balanced diet, you take care of what you eat and drink, you are active physically, into any fitness or any sports, it will be good for you. If I talk about love life, for single people wanting to get into a relationship, this month might be a bit tough, so do not lose hope. The coming time will keep getting better for that. For those couples already in a relationship, the time can be a bit of, you can feel a bit of a detachment from your partner. There could be some ups and downs, but try to work out those issues, because the eventual time to come is looking very auspicious for your relationship. If I talk about marriage, for single people wanting to get married and settle down, the last 2 weeks of this month is looking very good for the same. So if you have already been talking to someone, it could be a great time to take things to the next level, and even get married in the last couple of weeks. Whereas for married couples, the time is looking good. It is getting better and better, and your relationship with your spouse will only enhance, it will improve. Your overall marital peace, harmony, and love, passion, romance will also be on the rise. Your bonding will strengthen, and there will be unity between you and your spouse moving forward. So, a great time indicated for married life. In terms of travel, short distance travel journeys can be quite good now. Just drive your vehicle with caution, but overall it's looking good. It's looking supportive. And same for long distance travel journey vacation. It is looking quite good for the same. Finally, education. In terms of primary education, the time is going to be good, but it can be filled with a lot of distractions and temptations. And the same is true for higher education, but even more so, it can be filled with a lot of temptation and distraction. So if you are really focused, or if you do some yoga, meditation, channel your energy, ground it, and then redirect it towards your academic goals and aspirations. And that way, you will be on the path to success. I believe I covered all the major life areas for my Aquarius friends. Your second phase of Sadisati for the moon sign people is ending, or is ended, and your third phase has started, which is amazing. A major relief, a major positive change will unfold in your lives. A lot of pressure will be now lifted off your career, business area, your married life, your day to day activities. So things are only going to get better. I wish you all the best. For my Pisces mean Rashi friends, before I get to the prediction part, let me take a few minutes to tell you the planetary placement this month. Starting with your Lagnesh, Jupiter, it will be transiting in your third house in the sign of Taurus all month long. Mars will be transiting in the debilitation sign of Cancer in your fifth house. Saturn, along with Venus, Mercury, and Rahu, the north node of the moon, will be transiting in your ascendant itself. They will all be conjunct together, and even Sun. But Sun, the king of planets, will be only for the first 2 weeks in your first house. In the last 2 weeks, it will be transiting in your second house in the exaltation sign of Aries. Directly opposite to the first house is the seventh house, where Ketu, the south node of the moon, will be placed. Finally, Moon, the fastest moving planet, will keep changing signs fairly quickly throughout the month. So that summarizes the planetary placement. Now let's talk about the areas of life, starting with the career. In terms of job and profession, it is going to be a good month for you for the most part, because your career lord Jupiter is well placed in the third house from where it is aspecting the Bhagyastan and the Labhastan. Also, Saturn's pressure on your Bhagyastan will not be there anymore. So, if you need to make any important career related decisions, this can be the key month, especially in the last 2 weeks. Also, your first phase of Sadesati is completely over, and Saturn is now in your ascendant. So, for the moon sign people, your second phase of Sadesati is commencing now. And Saturn's aspect will be on your career house. So, it can be a mixed bag result, because when Saturn gets stronger degree wise, it can bring a slight pullback, or it can bring a slight slowdown in your career area. But as far as this month is concerned, it will be quite good and progressive, because Saturn is still not very strong degree wise. It has just entered the sign of Pisces. If I talk about business, then overall, there is good support for business related activities this month. So you can do well in your business domain, in your any kind of undertaking of business decisions. But do not forget that the malefic planet Ketu is still present in the business house. So take any decision only after giving it careful thought, due diligence, and doing that research. Avoid getting into any new business partnerships this month if possible. If I talk about finance, then overall the financial area is looking to be quite solid. Overall, wealth prospects are going to grow. Your financial flow of money is now going to just come your way, because the 11th Lord is now going to transit in your ascendant. But will that also come expenses? So you need to control and monitor your spending and avoid unnecessary excess spending when possible. If I talk about health, then a major relief in terms of health issues you were facing, especially those of the acute kind, although you could still suffer from some chronic related ailments, but things will slowly start to get better. But do not neglect any kind of health issues if something was to bother you. Make sure to get that checked up in a timely manner. If I talk about love life, for single people wanting to get into a relationship, this month is not looking to be that great. If you can be a bit more patient, I think it will be better for you. For those couples already in a relationship, there can be a slight kind of turbulence you might feel in your relationship, because the fiery planet Mars will be in debilitation in your fifth house and being the lord of the second. So be very careful with what you speak, how you say it, because it can come off as very abrasive, very short temper. Like, it can be very, the partner can take it in the wrong way. It can create unnecessary conflicts and misunderstandings. So you need to watch what you speak, because Mars can speak out fire. If I talk about marriage, then for single people wanting to get married this month, the time is looking fairly good, especially in the last 2 weeks. You have Jupiter's support there, you have the support of your seventh lord, but make sure your Mahadasha, Antardasha, the position in the natal chart is supporting this, because Ketu is still in the seventh house. But fairly, it is looking good. If we talk about married couples, then the time is looking quite progressive. If there were any issues, they can certainly be resolved this month. So you can work towards that. And overall, much harmony and peace is indicated in the second half of the month. If I talk about travel, in terms of short distance travel journey, the time is looking very good throughout the month. And the same goes for long distance travel journey vacation. If you had put any type of major long distance travel on hold for a long time, now is the time to embark on such a travel if you so desire. Finally, education. For those students pursuing primary education like bachelor's high school, the time is not that great. It can be filled with a bit of uncertainty, lack of discipline, lethargy. So, plan according to that and try to work as hard as you can if you want to get good results. Finally, in terms of higher education, for those students pursuing master's PhD program, it is looking to be exceptional, and things are now going to start to get a whole lot better than the last 2 to 3 years that you faced. So overall, a great time indicated for long distance or higher education. And if you want to pursue it in a long distance foreign country, then also the time is getting more supportive for seeking admission for the same. So to wrap it up, overall, the time is looking good. Your second phase of Sadi Sati has started. I'll probably make a separate video on that. But overall, this month is looking quite positive for you. And just do not take any hasty, impulsive, sudden decisions, because there are so many planets conjunct in your first house. So take any decision only after carefully thinking it through and being very practical about it. So I believe I've covered all the life areas, and I thank you for watching. Take care.